Quite well, because we are only 2 minutes late, which is, for anything connected with me, is a remarkable achievement. So I would like to thank all of you for coming. This is the probably 12th NAIOP local presentation. For those of you who aren't fully familiar with it, it's an interim presentation where the students from UBC, from Sauder and the School of Community Regional Planning are getting a chance to present their preliminary proposals for the NAIOP Real Estate Challenge, which is happening in Seattle in about 2 weeks. This event here at one time was a true competition because one team would be selected to go on to Seattle and the other would have to stay behind. For the last several years we've changed the framework, and the two teams that you see presenting here will actually come together at 5:20 this afternoon and all of a sudden have to put all animosity aside and be one team. And what the event is for is to get the benefit of professional input from our esteemed judging panel. We'll have the opportunity to grill the students and give them insight and feedback that will help us hopefully present yet another winning presentation in Seattle. I find pointing out that despite a large number of teams rotating through this competition over the years, the one thing that has remained stable throughout is that we have had a higher winning percentage of this event than any of the other teams competing, and I think part of it is because we really benefited through various stages from guidance and input from the professional community, from esteemed members of that community. And today we have with us, and I will not give your titles because I can't actually remember your titles, to be perfectly honest. My ability to remember things went off the door last decade. Ann Bancroft Jones of Polygon, Ryan Beechner from Retired, Andrew Grant, PCI, Gino Noni, fresh off the plane from Ireland, from Saracan, and David Podmore from Concert Properties. We will point out that the name of one of these developments as Creekside was not done in any way to curry favor with any members of the judging panel. We'd also like to remind the judging panel that while there may be people on these teams who are their current employees or past employees, we would prefer that they retain their professional objectivity and not engage in any bias, other than saying, we didn't teach you to do that. So there are many others who are involved in this who I'd like to we'll thank later. The order is Team Thunder will present first. It's a 20-minute presentation, followed by a 30-minute Q&A, 10-minute break, and then Team Bird will present after that. So I will sit down and I will let them present themselves and take care of things. Where's the rest of your team?
They didn't feel like coming today. We decided to not have them up here.
Okay. They're going to come up for Q&A?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. So good afternoon, judges and members of the audience. My name is Marcus, and I'm joined today by my colleague Alex. And together we're representing Thunder Development, which is an experienced development firm from Seattle, Washington. This is the second most livable city in America. No longer just a bedroom community to Seattle, the city of Bellevue is becoming a star in its own right, with strong employment and great population growth. Just outside of the downtown core, however, lies an underutilized industrial area that is ripe for real estate redevelopment. This is the Bell-Red Corridor, and situated between the cities of Bellevue and Redmond in Washington. It's currently just a light industrial zone, but the city has a strong vision for this and has rezoned the entire 900-acre site for residential and mixed-use developments. The vision is to take this and turn it into something like this, a series of mixed-use and burgeoning urban communities. Now, we have been given the opportunity to develop a site at the heart of this Bell-Red Corridor. This site has been chosen because of its prime location on the new light rail line provided by Sound Transit, which will be operating on January 1st, 2019. The reason they chose this site is because of our prime location on this line. Future residents of this site will be able to reach either downtown Bellevue or the Microsoft campus in Redmond in only 5 minutes. And by the way, Microsoft is actually planning to expand their headquarters by 1.5 million square feet, which is about 7,000 new jobs coming to the area. So that's a big deal. In addition to that, Bellevue has a strong real estate market with rents that have increased over the last year on the residential side by 8% and an extremely low vacancy rate of 3.5%. In addition to that, condo supply is a mere 1.2 months on the market. So this is what our site looks like today. It's just a collection of nondescript auto body shops as well as a marginalized urban creek on the top right corner. And the vision of this RFP from the city is for us to take this and transform it into a livable, vibrant, mixed-use community where people want to live. Now, the deal structure is quite interesting. The City of Bellevue will transfer the land of this site to Thunder Development at no cost. But there's a catch, and that's that we have to provide a 300-stall park and ride facility as well as deliver the maximum amount of amenities to the City of Bellevue. Now, the challenge here was to balance these objectives with financial viability from our perspective, but we have a creative solution in which all stakeholders are winners. And that solution is Creekside. Creekside is an urban heart for the Bellred community, and it will catalyze further development of the Bellred corridor. Creekside is comprised of around 360,000 square feet of GBA and an FSR of 2.5. The residential component of 250,000 square feet will be divided into 115 market rental units, 123 market condominium units, and 58 affordable condominium units, which, as we'll explain later in the presentation, was necessary for us to achieve the bonus density on this site. This residential is supported by 110,000 square feet of retail space, and of course we are providing 300-stall required park and ride on this site. Creekside will be developed over a total timeline of 6 years in 3 distinct phases. Each of those phases will take approximately 2 years, but the key thing to note here is that phase 1 will be completed before January 1st, 2019, which is the required date of the park and ride facility being operational. At a total development cost of around $99 million, Creekside will require an equity investment of just under $13 million and provide a profit of $17 million. Now, the required hurdle rates were given to us by contacts of NAIOP for this project, and this is what a developer could expect in the Seattle area, which is 10% return on cost and 15% IRR. We do acknowledge that this may be different from Vancouver standards, but that's what we are using for this project. So given that, our project yields significant benefit on the financial return side of 17% return on cost and 20% unlevered IRR. Now, the real story of this development was how we generated creative solutions to overcome some of the unique challenges of our site. Those 4 main challenges were delivering a 300-stall park and ride facility operational on January 1st, 2019. The second was to obtain a bonus density above and beyond the base level of 1.0 on this site. The third was to deal with extremely high construction costs in this area of concrete. And finally, to create a lively community hub for the City of Bellevue. Our solutions for these included a creative phasing plan, affordable housing in the form of affordable condominiums, wood frame mid-rise construction, and also a fantastic amenity mix for the City of Bellevue. So now I'd like to invite Alex up to walk us through the details of our proposal and how we generated solutions to these challenges.
Great. So our first challenge was to build a 300-stall park and ride by the start of 2019. With an underground cost per stall of $30,000, this is a large upfront cost for us to accommodate. If we build it completely in phase 1, we end up with a parking cost of over $9 million and a profit in that phase of negative $300,000. This means that this phase is not viable, and we would not develop this project as a whole. To solve this issue, what we've done is actually spread the cost out over the first 2 phases of the underground parking stalls, which means that each phase is viable as its own project on its own. So we've done this in phase 1 by providing 110 stalls underground. We then provide the remaining 190 stalls required on a temporary surface parking lot before moving on to phase 2. In phase 2, we move those 190 stalls underground, and this is our final permanent location of our park and ride. This enables us to move on to develop phase 3. Our second major challenge was to obtain our bonus density zoning by providing the amenities as per the zoning. So the density bonusing scheme for this zoning provides a base FSR of 1.0 with a maximum FSR of 4.0 and a maximum height of 150 feet. To get above 1.0 FSR, you have to provide specific amenities as specified by the City of Bellevue. For us, as we are at a 1.55 FSR, that's excluding ground floor retail and affordable housing, we need to provide affordable housing. We've done that by providing affordable condo. As you can see here, we still have a positive return on cost at 18%. So how did we calculate this? We took the King County median income, so the regional income. We assumed 30% of that goes towards a mortgage payment, which gives us a net income, which we can use for a mortgage payment per month. We then take a mortgage, assuming a term of over 30 years, and we get a sale price, and from that we get a price per square foot of $544. The high median income and the low construction cost of wood frame means that this affordable condo still yields a return on cost of 18%. Finally, our affordable condos will all be in the first phase. We're doing this because we anticipate that it will sell quickly in the first phase, as it is discounted from market price, and there are few available condos in the Seattle area. This enables us to move on to our second phase quickly, as well as meet the amenity requirements of the City of Bellevue, where we have to provide the amenities before we get the bonus density. Our third major challenge was deciding what to build. We started with a maximum density, knowing that this is usually how you maximize your profits. We had an FSR of 3.9 with a height of 150 feet. This required us to build 14 stories of concrete construction. As you can see here, the high construction cost of concrete, as provided to us by NAIOP at $270 per square foot, yielded in